Well, today is Star Trek The Next
Oh.
Generation's 34th birthday.
Whoa.
So happy birthday to them. And let's get started there. Patricia, fond memories of The Next Generation or stressful times, busy schedules? What was it like?
Oh my gosh, I'm still trying to get my head around the 30. What? What? Oh my gosh. Because I'm only 35, so that's really weird.
Yeah. Wow.
You played Molly O'Brien's little sister.
You were doing stunts as an infant.
I was. I'm actually mixed. Never mind. It doesn't work. Anyway, it was actually, I loved it. I had a great time on Next Generation. It was honoring to be part of the stunt team. They had already been working together for a couple of years by the time I moved to Los Angeles and was introduced to Dennis Matalone. And he trusted me with some basic gags to see how I'd do. And then I became a regular part of the stunt team, which is really kind of phenomenal because on Star Trek that can also lead into small roles, because they'll have a role of an alien that then needs to die. Or I could be the red shirt that episode, and I've been many a red shirt. So it was delightful, and I'm a huge nerd. So I was sneaking photos of me on the set. Back in those days, we had to use cameras with film in them, and I'd have to set it up awkwardly to, try to get. And my very first picture, in my book, I have a picture of my very first picture I took of myself. I set it up in my trailer, and I stood outside my trailer door, and I cut my head off. So all you see is me, my proud stance in my uniform. There's no head on it. That could be anybody. Oh, what? Yeah. Yeah, no, I have nothing but totally fond memories of being on that show. I was doing a lot of other things at the same time, trying to get my career going in Los Angeles. So that was the busy part. But the delight was being able to pull onto the Paramount lot, say hello to the security guards, know their names. They knew mine. I had a membership at the gym there on the Paramount lot. So it was just, wow, dream come true. Oh, nice. Very cool.
Do you have, of all the stunts you did, and by the way, you do have like a long list of different alien characters that you played on all the various shows. Did you have an absolute favorite stunt or most proud moment in a stunt? Or if you can't narrow that down, did you have one that you just hated the most?
Yeah, okay. I have various memories. Let's see, did I hate any of them? I don't think I hated anything. Wearing a lot of prosthetic makeup anytime is a challenge. It's always a challenge. And you need to just shut up and put your best foot forward, no complaining, because gosh, I got to work that day in the Star Trek lot. So who's going to, come on, get real. So I had a uniform in every color in wardrobe, so I could just, easily just pop in and do something. That I don't know if this counts, Ryan, but I got to be on Star Trek Generations, the movie.
Yes.
I got to be in that first movie, and I had just a bunch of highlights. One was doubling Gates when Worf and she fall overboard, and Data actually is trying to have a sense of humor and knocks Gates. That was me, and I got to wear that uniform. And I just have this thing. I have no idea why. Maybe it's a past life. Anything having to do with the British Navy, I'm wild about. So to wear this classic, Trafalgar British Navy period uniform was an absolute thrill. And we were on the Lady Washington, the ship, which was one of my favorite ships. I was already nerding out on her. So that was remarkable. and then I was put in charge of the bridge the day we crashed the Enterprise. Our stunt coordinator, Bud Davis, was going to Vegas to work with William Shatner and Patrick Stewart to film their culminating scene on the rocks. That was outside Vegas. So he put me in charge of the set, and I crashed the Enterprise. So I'm responsible for that. And I'm also on the bridge of the Enterprise firing on the Klingon ship, and I'm doubling Bator on the Klingon ship, firing on the Enterprise. And I'm the only person who can say that.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow.
I know. So that was, I think those were some super highlights. I mean, every day was a highlight over there.
Now,
I had a great
You
time.
mentioned that you're a nerd. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I mean, I love doubling the Naw Visitor, and so she's become someone very dear to me. So over on Deep Space Nine, that was the other one. So go ahead, Katie.
I was gonna say, you mentioned you're a nerd. Were you a fan of the original series when it came out, and then it just kind of was like Star Trek? What? And then they instantly applied for that job.
No, I am 64, so I admit to being old enough to have watched the original series when it was originally on. And back in those days, kids, you had to watch the show when it aired on the channel. There was no watching it later. There was no, recording it. You just had to watch it when it was on. And Dad, the patriarch of the family, whatever Dad was watching, that's what you watched. You had one TV set, 3 channels, that was it. So I didn't know what from Star Trek, I didn't know, but I'd watch what Dad was watching, and I loved the show. I loved Spock. For some reason. And what I kind of, flash forward to being on Babylon 5, Lita often got compared to Spock as being kind of this mysterious character that you really never knew what was going on with her. Like you never really knew what was going on with Spock unless he actually verbalized it. And I was so honored. It was like, my life has just made this beautiful hug around me,
Oh.
Did you guys notice how she mentioned Babylon 5? We weren't going to do this, but since you brought up Babylon 5.
Segue. Nice segue, Ryan.
We come to think of it, didn't we see something mentioned yesterday about a Babylon 5 reboot? Your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm really blessed to be on both of these shows. Crazy. And Joe, for some reason, has been so kind to a handful of us on the who are left on the show to say, look, I am in this production period of talks, and it looks good. So there was resistance at Warner Brothers for a long time. He's talked about this on Twitter, so I can mention it. And that resistance went away. They retired. And so now we have enthusiasm over there that is very much supporting the idea of rebooting Babylon 5. So Joe's been sort of keeping us and saying, I want you to be a part of this when we do it. And we're like, okay, we're all 1,000 years old now. How does that work? We obviously can't come back as these young people. But he said this. So again, it's okay for me to share this with you guys. He is doing a reimagining of the show. So what I love about this, and I see a lot of fans being a little snarky on the interwebs, and I would just invite them to remember who you're talking about. You're talking about Joe Straczynski. He created the 5-year arc. Just that. Okay, that had never been done before. And a lot of our favorite shows have like Battlestar Galactica and, Firefly. I mean, these guys, J.J. Abrams, they all credit Joe with having the balls to do that in the first place, because who had the guts? So Joe is saying, look, if we knew then what we know now, what we have the technology now, we have different conversations going on now, politics, the world, so much of what went on in the original series. This is Pat speaking. It's just not Joe, but I just saw that as being so prophetic. Any of you who have enjoyed Babylon 5, Joe has often been credited with, how did you know this was going to happen 20 years later? Just how did you know? So you've got this mind, this person, this creative force saying, I can do this even better. I can do this now with this whole new spin on it and make it something new and something very special. Why wouldn't you trust that? You know,
Right.
why would you doubt that? Why wouldn't you want him to at least try? Right? Let's have a go. So I'm excited just to see what the heck that looks like to him. What does that mean to him? Joe can think in ways that nobody I've ever met can think and can vision and then can pull it off. So if anyone, you're going to give anyone the reins to something like this. So what does that mean for us actors? Well, we don't have any contracts. There's no paper.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's all air and it's all talk and it's all hopeful thoughts right now. And that's a good place to be. I love being hopeful. It's really cool. And Joe did throw out, hey, what if, you know, you guys came back in different ways? He said that on Twitter. You know, I wouldn't come back as Lita Alexander. It wouldn't make any sense at my age now, but I could come back as something else or someone else. I mean, we've enjoyed other shows that have been reimagined and put out there. I was part of a remake of a film called Night of the Living Dead, which was a classic in 1968, and then we remade it in 1990. Now, you know, why would you do that? It was amazing as it was in 1968. Well, they reimagined it. They rescripted it. They brought it forward. And a lot of people have said it's better than the original. I don't have an opinion. I'm grateful to have been a part of it. But so it can happen, kids. Why not be positive about it? Why not be hopeful and think, yeah, what we need is some awesome sci-fi by one of these creators who has given us a huge gift. So I say, let's let him go and let's see what he can do.
Right. Look at Battlestar Galactica's reboot in 2004. Huge upgrade. No offense to 1979, but 2004.
and a different tone, right? So the original had a certain tone, and the remake had, you know, the reboot had a different tone, and it worked. And Rockney O'Bannon talked about Joe being in Babylon 5 being a huge influence on the tone of the show, not just the 5-year arc, but a tone. So I just can't wait to see what the heck he's going to pull out of his hat or his sleeve or his jockey shorts. I mean, who knows?
So have you
We'll
given
stop
any
right
thought?
there.
It'd be an interesting show if it came from there.